Hey Virgo, welcome to your November 2024 reading. As I was meditating before beginning to shuffle these cards, I got the impression that you've been on some sort of a pretty private, on your own terms, kind of inner journey, working something out or working through something since around August, September, since perhaps around your birthday. Maybe something came up around your solar return this year, which made you want to reassess the situation, or perhaps you've been working with somebody, maybe it's been on your own, to kind of overcome something kind of default. And it seems like November might be a time where you're making a major breakthrough on that, if not closing down that cycle altogether. That was just something that came through, but for now, let's have a look at the tarot. The sign of Scorpio and Pisces perhaps being pretty important to you at the moment. Maybe you're dealing with the Scorpio or a Pisces that's kind of integral to the person you're becoming or the version of yourself you're showcasing. King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. This is the energy for Scorpio again, and if you are in a relationship at the moment, whether it's with a water sign or not, Virgo, this would tell me that November is a month where your commitment and devotion is deepening with this person. Now, if you're not in a relationship and you're looking for one, November is a time when you certainly feel ready, and I would say it's time to maybe open up or start opening up to the blessing of a relationship coming into your life. I would also say that if this is not speaking to a romantic relationship, if that's not what you're into right now, Virgo, November is a pretty pivotal month for you in terms of relationships, where there's a lot of focus there for you, platonic, familial, and the relationship with yourself. But certainly a love relationship is like screaming at me right now. I will link the latest relationship reading I've done for you down below, Virgo. If you want to check that out, it might be relevant to this reading. We have the Two of Swords with the Eight of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Devil, and the Eight of Wands. Five of Cups, Nine of Cups, the Moon, the Six of Cups, and the Five of Wands. So at the bottom of the deck, the King of Cups is here with their Queen of Cups, okay? So I get the impression that a lot of you have recently met somebody or started talking to somebody where you could really see this being something, or where you get the impression that it's more meaningful, more emotionally in tune with one another than something casual. This seems to be perhaps more of a profound relationship that's beginning. Some of you are in a very committed and very emotionally deep and connected relationship, and November is a time to continue to pour into that relationship and continue to focus there and allow that to grow and blossom the way it has been, because it's requiring your commitment. It's requiring, if these two pages at the bottom of the deck, Page of Swords, Page of Wands, they are communicators, so it's requiring a lot of communication, and new relationship or old relationship or something that's just kind of in the pipeline that hasn't fully begun yet, but I get the impression you also know you're ready for this. You don't need me to tell you. Communication is key, okay? Expressing your needs and being clear about what it is that you want, and not just accepting any old basic kind of bare minimum. All right, Virgo. So, you know, we spoke about something that you've been dealing with on a more private, behind the scenes kind of a space, and the Devil card really speaks to that. It's in the subconscious. I'm just covering up their nudity for the AI bots on YouTube's sake. I don't mind the nudity part, but let's play ball here. So the Devil card is coming through in your subconscious, and this is something that is got its hooks and really got a hold of you. So the hooks are in, and this has got a strong hold on your subconscious mind. And the Devil card talks to something like powerlessness at very extreme or more intense kind of signifiers for this card would be things like addiction, less extreme, maybe vices, but some sort of a compulsion, some sort of a habitual, and then perhaps addiction that has a power over you. So you are perhaps, when we see the chains on the Devil card, we kind of get the impression that there is a desire on the subconscious layer for you to liberate, okay, for you to kind of unchain yourself emotionally or psychologically or even physically to this situation or to this vice. And for a lot of you, Eight of Pentacles here with this work signature, a lot of it could be workaholism or sort of just like hyper fixation on something that isn't always productive. Now, sometimes you are, I mean, a lot of the time you are very productive, Virgo, but this particular Devil energy is not so productive. I also have the Moon here in the environment, speaking to unearthing, speaking to the fact that Scorpio is showing up so much in your reading. Five of Cups, Six of Cups, and the King of Cups is all Scorpio energy. We're in Scorpio season, of course, right? And the thing about that might be is, what did I do? I took the Moon card out of the way, sorry. The thing about that is that you might not be dating a Scorpio or best friends with a Scorpio, or your parent is one, or child. You might be a Virgo, of course, with heavy Scorpio in your chart. That's possible. But you might just be in tune with the season that we're in, and you're in tune with the fact that Scorpio energy is pulling you into the depths where it's a little murky, where there are some uncertainties, and where you're meant to transmute the pain or the longing or the intense yearning that you might be feeling lately into, by an alchemical process, something magical, something transcendent, and for want of a better word, it's part of the healing for you. So you've been on this journey since your birthday, I think, like August, September, where you're sort of saying that you want things to change in this area of life. Maybe you've wanted that for a while, but it was, for whatever reason, I think many of you this August, September were more so strict, or giving yourself this deadline, or these Knight of Swords, Eight of Wands, speed, right? There was an urgency around this. There was a certain kind of I suppose pressure, whether it was self-imposed or coming from elsewhere, that it's time to change this, and it's time to let go, or time to transmute. Rather than necessarily fully let go, perhaps you could take the focus on what has made you feel kind of like powerless and transmute it and apply that focus to something that is more productive and something that gives you a much more uplifted sense of satisfaction and overall health and well-being. Before we take this card by card, and before that will keep me going off on 1,000,001 digressions, what I wanted to say was, Virgo, that if this reading resonates with you, I'm going to pull a further 10 more cards and dive even deeper in an extended version of this reading, and I'll link that below with on the where you'll find that. You'll also find a 6-month overview I've done for your sign, bringing you all the way up to March of 2025, and I'll also be linking there a relationship reading for you, so you'll find all that in the same place. But for now, if this is all you're sticking around for, let's get into this card by card for you. The current energy, and the first card that has presented is a Two of Swords. You're on the fence about something, somebody's giving you the cold shoulder, you're giving somebody the cold shoulder, you are calculating your moves with another person, and it is only kind of distracting you as you play these mind games, or perhaps you are kind of getting this sort of behavior directed towards you, these kind of mind games, lack of clarity, the blindfold is on, people aren't saying what they mean, and you think, why can't people just say what they mean? What's with the subtext? There's a lot of passive aggression with this Two of Swords, which probably doesn't feel the most productive or healthy. And the Two of Swords, when I see the Five of Cups here coming up in the future position around the middle of this month, I get the impression, you know, Virgo, that this passive aggression or kind of sitting on the fence or not saying it straight might lead to you feeling disappointed or regretful that you didn't just be direct. And you might say, well, no, I've kind of been burned before by this and it didn't go well, or the other person got very defensive, or I kind of lashed out or went about it in a more potentially aggressive way, or you were the victim of somebody treating you in a more aggressive manner with their approach. So you're kind of like once bitten, twice shy. I think I'm just going to focus on my work, mind my business, keep working on myself. And that's, you know, that's good. Keep working on yourself. And all that is good. But if it's kind of distracting you from the work that you're doing on yourself, it might be time to look at it again and just take a different approach. You're so adaptable and flexible. There's absolutely nothing that you can't figure out, Virgo. So I think that kind of is what's speaking to me through these cards, at least. Some of you, though, it's not necessarily with a personal relationship or a work or friend thing. The Two of Swords is just about you, and I mean a work relationship. The Two of Swords could be about you guys not knowing what you're doing with your time, or taking some time off, especially like social media. Taking some time away from the iPad or scrolling and things like that. That certainly comes up with the Two of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles rather. And the Eight of Pentacles is a lot to do with your work and your projects and focus at the moment. So relationships and work are of equal importance in the month of November. The relationships that you have are kind of crying out for a little bit of TLC, but I get a lot of aggression in this reading with the Devil, the Knight of Swords, the Five of Wands. Like everybody's a little bit aggro, and there's a lot of conflicting opinion. There's a lot of diversity of thought and temperament around you, but there are certain relationships that feel very safe, very nurturing, and really, really deep. For those of you who are not in a relationship yet but are looking for a relationship, communicate that with the universe, communicate that with yourself, communicate that with the person you're interested in. What's the worst that can happen? This could actually be some sort of a lesson that turns into a blessing around showing vulnerability and admitting that you want more. And if you're in a committed relationship, just keep pouring into that. It's going to pay off. Now, there could be in that committed relationship a bit of friction at the moment. That also could be there. However, I find that the most kind of tension and adversary or like stress is kind of with yourself, and some of it is self-imposed. I get that impression that, you know, you're distracting yourself with petty relationship issues to distract yourself from the important work at hand. Or some of you are distracting yourself with monotonous kind of meaningless chores or jobs to distract yourself from getting to the root of the issue or the Devil card subconscious terrain of I know I need to really look at this. And I guess I'm stepping into your kind of first person here, or third person, and it's things like, you know, I said I was going to be able to accomplish this or give this up or change this by XYZ. I said at my birthday or solar return that I'm not doing this anymore. And, you know, that is now coming up to your deadline. So you're feeling this like urgency and pressure on yourself. I get the impression that at work and on important projects that you're kind of focused on your own, and it's like a solo endeavor and it's like your baby or it's your responsibility. I get the impression that there's a lot of pressure around that, a lot of pressure for success, and I think that you don't fully know. It's not that you don't know what you're doing, but a lot of you are winging it and kind of just like taking it as it comes and rolling with it. And I guess trying to have a little bit more of a structure might be a good thing. for you at work, Virgo, instead of just sort of like winging it and putting all this. And I just see so much stress and pressure on you at the moment, Virgo. And I wish that this reading wasn't just saying that. And it's not just saying that. This reading is also saying that, like, go easy on yourself. You've been doing a lot of work. Relationships, great. Okay, so the Eight of Wands and the Knight of Swords, my goodness, it has been go, go, go for you. You really have not stopped, whether it's been travel, whether it's been moving, relocation, whether it's been making a lot of purchases and then having to scramble to sort of like justify that or make money again or something like that. I don't know, there is just this real sort of scramble, and it's not unsettled energy. Like, you're kind of thriving in this on the surface, but below the surface with that Devil card energy, this is all catching up to you in a sense. And the Devil card can be vices, or what we would turn to in terms of like a distraction or escapism because of the burnout that we're feeling from perhaps our job or a certain family dynamic or a friendship dynamic, or just kind of like what's going on in the culture and like on the news and in the media, on all this kind of stuff. You might be facing a certain amount of burnout, or overstimulation is probably the word I'm using or I'm looking for. And there we have it. You're overstimulated when I see these cards come through together. And as a result, then you kind of default to a behavior, a compulsion, or a habit that doesn't really promote an overall sense of well-being, nor does it promote true long-lasting satisfaction. We're talking about cheap dopamine here, Virgo. Okay, the Nine of Cups, that's going to talk about where you're going to find more long-lasting satisfaction. The Five of Cups. So as the month progresses, there is a full moon in the sign of Taurus on the 15th of the month. So it is around the 15th, 16th of the month for you, Virgo, with this moon card and Five of Cups, that, you know, that the impact of what's going on for you late October and the first week of November is felt on an emotional level. So you might be running around, you might be reaching, like you're running around and you're reaching as some sort of a no, or a no, you're not going any further with this project. You need to wait for a permit. You need to wait for approval. You need to get other people on board, or somebody just says there's a delay and I need to assess this before I can let you proceed. So after all of this momentum and overstimulation, to reach a sort of no or a brick wall is going to create a certain amount of impact, but also the frustration that it's not really going anywhere productive. So you turn to the vices, you turn to escapism or distraction, or even some sort of dissociation. However, by the 15th, 16th of the month, and I hope I'm not going too hard on you here, Virgo, okay? But by the 15th or 16th of the month, I think there is a turning point insofar as the emotions, well, I guess the emotional impact of the end of October, first week of November kind of catches up with you, and you can really feel very deeply where this cycle is taking you and where this cyclically, we always talk about cycles with the moon card, tends to sort of happen, or like how often this kind of happens. Do you feel like you're in this cycle in a looping fashion more often than you'd like to be? Do you see that there is a desire on some level to change, break free, Devil card, but that you still find yourself in some sort of a loop and it gets frustrating? I don't know, maybe, maybe not. Let's look at it another way. The full moon on the 15th has got other people telling you how they feel. The full moon on the 15th has got people coming to you, and maybe that it wasn't you being passive aggressive, maybe it's them being passive aggressive, or maybe it's them being like playing the mind games. They're coming to you and telling you perhaps how they truly feel or what's been bothering them. And it comes with a opportunity to kind of, I guess, feel the like yearning for what was or what could be. There is that sort of impression of nostalgia here, or a sort of a longing for something more, or what could have been. That's probably what it is. The Six of Cups. The Six of Cups tells me that a visit or a friend or some sort of a cute date arises this month for you, probably towards the end of the month, like from the 16th, 17th onwards, that final week of Scorpio season. Somebody brings you flowers, or somebody brings you out somewhere, or invites you over to their place and cooks for you. Something pretty wholesome, something very welcoming. It's probably like a sibling or a friend from the past, or somebody that you really do care about, an old friend. And somebody, it doesn't have to be a water sign or Scorpio, but you know, Scorpio is very strong in this reading, but we are in Scorpio season. The other water signs are here too, Cancer and Pisces. So it could be one of these signs as well. The Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups tells me that the highest self is coming through with a antidote for what we might have been talking about, and what of this may be relevant to you. And I usually would save pulling more cards for the extended, but the Nine of Cups is offering an antidote, and I don't really know what that is, so I'd love to clear that up for you, Virgo. What would to me it's saying that there's something here on the table, or hidden maybe from full view for you at this time, that would offer a sense of long lasting and more habitual joy and bliss and satisfaction. Follow your bliss, do what makes you happy. Yeah. The Four of Swords in reverse, very spiritual, and the Fool card at the bottom of the deck. Follow your joy, follow your passion, take responsible risks, take that leap of faith, if that is what's coming through from the highest self for me, as well as the Four of Swords in the reversal. So upright, we're talking about a kind of rest or respite away from the noise and the busyness and the overstimulation. In the reversal, it also speaks to withdrawing into your own inner sanctuary and sanctum, but with the reversal, there's much more of a profound awakening and awareness that comes with that retreat. So taking necessary rest from overstimulation, shutting down external noise, but also adding a spiritual element to that, that is going to probably open up these kind of like pathways to a greater sense of long-term satisfaction. And this full moon, in fact, on the 15th could really be speaking to a awareness now, a veil been lifted from you, a veil of illusion been lifted around the 15th, 16th of the month, where because it's in your environment, it's like you and other people, because probably Virgo, you know this, but maybe you're noticing other people are now catching up to this. Like you're thinking there's more to this baseline reality than meets the eye. There might be something more cosmological, something more metaphysical at play, and there's more to just this very third dimension of time and space and linear seemingly day after day. You're kind of getting the impression that you have a bigger part to play here. Maybe you've known that for a long time, Virgo, but it seems because the moon is in the environment that you're noticing, especially around the full moon on the 15th, that those people that you're around and you're connected to are also having these realizations, are also having some sort of a veil of illusion falling away in a sense. The Five of Wands, you know, I'd love to tell you that the end of the month sees all these problems solved, all these problems, okay, you know, you're like, go easy. It's not that sort of deep. For some of you, it might be. So all of the issues that you're experiencing at the beginning of the month, I would love to say they're totally solved magically by the end of the month, but as we know, that's not the way things always go. The Five of Wands tells me that by the end of the month, you're still somewhat working through the thorny issues that are presenting for you at the moment in terms of this kind of aggression or passive aggression in terms of power dynamics and in terms of mind games and even manipulation. People are stressed, people are angry, everybody's got some sort of unsolicited opinion, it seems. So do what you've got to do. Like I said at the start, it's not like there's any problem that you can't solve, Virgo, but just know that it's not the case of, you know, waving a magic wand and this just dematerializing overnight. It does seem like things still are coming to a head even by the end of the month, and that's why I've got the 5 of Wands here. We're going to get into this even deeper into the extended, and you'll find that linked below with all those other extras. And if that's all you're sticking around for though, please consider subscribing, liking or sharing. It was a pleasure to read for you as always. I'll see you soon.